Welcome to REI TV. Today I'm going to be talking about how to be successful in your real estate investing. And how to be successful, think about it, that's hugely different than investing in real estate because obviously there's a lot of different ways to screw it up. I'm going to talk specifically about a 5-ingredient formula that I use when I invest in real estate. And the reason why these 5 ingredients work is because it is a systematized approach. As much as I love real estate, I love business systems even more. And when you put the two of them together, I'm going to show you mathematically why I believe that this is the singular best strategy in all of real estate. So let me share with you my 5-ingredient success formula so that you understand exactly how I do real estate every single time. I do not deviate from this. There are a lot of different ways to invest in real estate. Do you think there's a best way out there?
To say, is there a best way? Sure, I think there is a best way. Whether or not anybody can find it is, it'd be interesting to see.
The first step is you got to start with the right system. So the right system would include buying real estate, single-family homes. Not like this commercial stuff you see in the backdrop here. I buy them 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. I call it American Dream real estate. And when I buy it, I want to buy it below the median because remember, everything below the median is a lot safer and insulated than anything over the median. What do you think is the most overwhelming part of real estate?
The risk that it entails. I mean, there's a lot at stake, a lot to lose.
The second thing I do is I want to buy my real estate in the very best markets. Now I've got 2 different types that I'm interested in. One's called an equity growth market. Another one is a cash flow market. What do you think you do in a cash flow market? You go after properties that have the highest cap rate or the highest ROI, or where your month-on-month return, the money that you get every month as far as cash flow is going to be the highest. Or I'll go to an equity growth market. And what's great about an equity growth market is I'm focusing on getting those big gains because I'm buying severely below the rebuild value. So for example, I'll purchase homes in Orlando, Phoenix, Las Vegas. Those are great equity growth markets. Or I'll purchase my homes in markets like Indianapolis or Memphis. Those are markets where I'm getting 13, 14% cap rates all day long. So of all the different ways to approach real estate, how does someone go about trying to figure out how to even do that with so many options out there?
You know, I guess that was actually one of our hesitations as well because, you know, when we did take those classes, they covered every different type of real estate. And I picked out a few that I thought sounded interesting, and that was really kind of how we made our decision. You know, but there was no structure behind that and no proof that what I wanted to do was going to work. And yeah, found out the hard way that some of the strategies really didn't work well for me and some of them did. Total guess game.
The third step in the success formula is having track record. That's actually a really critical key piece here. And I do that through commoditizing real estate. Remember how I said it was 3 bedroom, 2 baths, certain amount of square footage, and all these other variables that are really important in putting this whole system together? Well, that's exactly what I am doing with my real estate. I'm comparing it against each other. So for example, if I buy in a market, I can take a look at my last 1,000 homes, and then I can compare them to each other and start figuring out really important critical information like how long is it going to take to rent? 42.3 days in this zip code, 38.4 days in that zip code. And you know what? Knowledge is very, very powerful to make sure you're properly and adequately prepared. So track record is really key. What do you think the biggest obstacle is that keeps people out of real estate?
Money. I really do. Money.
So you have to have money to make money.
Really, yeah, you do.
Another thing I like to do is I love to leverage other people's money. Now, I'm not just talking about using the bank's money on purchasing a home where you get a 5-to-1 ratio. I put 20% down. I can put a partner's 20% down and supply the real estate so I'm no money out of pocket. But even when I acquire my real estate, I like to set up my deals where I ask somebody else to use their money to put up the risk. Because in real estate, things can look really good on paper, but 30 days after you buy it, you're going to find out on whether or not you actually maybe made a mistake. So where do you think investors go to find the best properties?
I'd say find a good agent. Find a good real estate agent.
Why?
Somebody who knows areas and knows how to get good deals.
Okay, this is the final secret, and this is a big one. You have to have the right team. There's no such thing as succeeding in real estate all on your lonesome. You gotta have a team, okay? Strategy is important. System is important, but team is one of the most important key elements. Why? Because this is where you're coordinating the people that are going to keep you safe with all the proper contracts and legal contracts on actually acquiring the real estate and lining up the lending and the property management and having it properly insured. So I've assembled a team that I use, for example, and at the end of the day, I put the request and I hand everything off to my team. They step in and they do all the work. So make sure you assemble the correct team when you're putting this together. Now, here's a little tip, bonus feature I want to add for you. It's this idea that when you're buying real estate and assembling a team, they're all going to be motivated by their own commission. So if you can at least unify them with a common purpose by understanding the strategy, the goal is to get them to communicate with each other. Because when I go off and do my real estate and I do it really wide scale, thousands of deals, I actually have to go so far as to take all their commissions away, even though they're all licensed, and put them on bonus and salary. And that's the easiest way in volume I can get them to participate really, really well for me. I'll share this final point with you. My dad raised me saying, son, if you want something done right, do it yourself. And I tried that for my first 25 homes, and that's when I needed to acquire and put a team together. I was pulling out my hair. I needed leverage. I needed people leverage. When I put my team together and had them effectively compensated and working as a team, you know what happened? Something miraculous, something really beautiful. I turned the philosophy around. If you want something done right, don't do it yourself. And my team, that's the way I function in my real estate today, because even though I know how to do all these things, there's still an average of 341 hours that my team puts in on every single deal. The more people you have involved, the more leverage you have, the easier it is for you to expand your operation without you necessarily getting buried by the workload. All right, there you have it. Those are my 5 ingredients for successful real estate investing. You may want to watch the video again and even take some notes, because these 5 elements, they're key to what exactly helped me become successful in real estate. Thank you for watching today's video. If you'd like to get a lot more information and details on what we've covered today, I've got it all in my book, The Straight Path to Real Estate Wealth. And I've got this book on audio CD, and I'm willing to make a copy of it to you for free. All you got to do is click the link below, pay a couple of dollars for shipping, and I'll make sure that I do my part and get you a free copy. With that, have a great day.